As we continue to learn about fasting, today we're going to turn to a passage from the book of Daniel, Daniel chapter 10, verses 1 through 14, which is really a vision of the last days, and in it Daniel describes what's known as a partial fast. In the 3rd year of King Cyrus of Persia, a word was revealed to Daniel, who was named Belteshazzar. The word was true, and it concerned a great conflict. He understood the word, having received understanding in the vision. At that time, I, Daniel, had been mourning for 3 weeks. I had eaten no rich food. No meat or wine had entered my mouth, and I had not anointed myself at all for the full 3 weeks. On the 24th day of the 1st month, as I was standing on the bank of the great river, that is, the Tigris, I looked up and saw a man, clothed in linen, with a belt of gold from Uphaz around his waist. His body was like beryl, his face like lightning, his eyes like flaming torches, his arms and legs like the gleam of burnished bronze, and the sound of his words like the roar of a multitude. I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. The people who were with me did not see the vision, though a great trembling fell upon them. And they fled and hid themselves. So I was left alone to see this great vision. My strength left me, and my complexion grew deathly pale, and I retained no strength. Then I heard the sound of his words, and when I heard the sound of his words, I fell into a trance, face to the ground. But then a hand touched me, and roused me to my hands and knees. He said to me, Daniel, greatly beloved, pay attention to the words I am going to speak to you. Stand up on your feet, for I have now been sent to you. So while he was speaking this word to me, I stood up, trembling. He said to me, do not fear, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourself before your God, your words have been heard, and I have come because of your words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia opposed me 21 days. So Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I left him there with the prince of the kingdom of Persia, and I have come to help you understand what is to happen to your people at the end of days, for there is a further vision for those days. Daniel is the only apocalyptic book. Apocalyptic is a specific type of literature that we find in the Bible, in Daniel, in the book of Revelation, and in a couple other smaller places like the 13th chapter of the Gospel of Mark. But here in Daniel chapter 10, we hear him describe a fast where he doesn't abstain completely from food. He just abstains from rich food, from meat, and from wine. And that's another way that we can fast. We can not have dessert, we can't have rich food or meat, but we can have vegetables, fruit, nuts, and things like that. And a Daniel fast has actually become a fairly popular thing to do. Rick Warren, through his purpose-driven church movement from Saddleback in California, has made the Daniel fast a much more popular way of engaging in abstaining from food for a while to concentrate on God. And you note that in humbling himself, this is part of why Daniel discovers his words are heard by the Lord.